You know, there's many reasons why we struggle to pray. It could be things like depression, anxiety, our financial situation. It could be doubt, discouragement, or just a plain old general lack of spiritual inspiration. But whatever the reason is, you've clicked on this video because you are struggling to pray. Well, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story and give you the prayer to pray when you pray for prayer. You know, I used to have this amazing prayer life. I'm talking every night without exception. 15, 20, 30 minutes, one-on-one time, quality time with God. I used to pour my heart out with God. I used to pour over the scriptures of God. And what began as a chore early on soon progressed into something that I couldn't live without. It became the highlight of my day. I used to look forward to the evenings because I'd get to have my quality one-on-one time with God. I even went to bed early. I'm talking 8:30, 9 p.m. just to get the time in with God. But then something happened and everything stopped. My life hit a crisis right around the middle of my time in seminary, where I was studying for a double degree in ministry and theology. I was studying to be a pastor, and right smack dab in the middle of my course, my life hit a spiritual crisis, and it sent me spiraling down into that long, dark tunnel of depression. It impacted my church life. It impacted my Bible devotion life. But more importantly, it impacted my prayer life. Soon after this, I went to get a diagnosis of mental health because I knew that something was wrong. And I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and acute stress disorder. I couldn't handle it. It sent me on the brink of mental collapse, and my whole spiritual life just started crumbling and tumbling down around me. I couldn't walk through the open doors of a church anymore. I couldn't open the word anymore. But more importantly, I couldn't open my mouth anymore and pray or talk to God. I couldn't commune with Him anymore. And so I stopped praying. But what made this all so pertinent is I was smack dab in the middle of a double degree of ministry and theology. Every day I was studying, reading, writing, typing up these long-winded essays and assignments and exams about God, theology, faith, church, Christianity. My head was exploding with the knowledge of God, but my heart and my very soul was so far removed from God. But you know, there was one day, this one moment, and I remember it vividly. I was driving out of my university on the highway of New South Wales going into Sydney. It was a bright, sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. And as I was driving underneath one of the underpasses, all of a sudden, I had these huge feelings overwhelm me. These feelings of panic, these feelings of anxiety, feelings of fear, and feelings of doubt. It got to the point that I had this thought come into my mind that maybe God doesn't even exist at all. And I felt such panic. I looked into the rearview mirror. I locked eyes with myself. And all of these thoughts, all of these feelings just came crashing into me all at once. And then in that moment, I just felt this instinctual, primal voice come from my stomach. Out through my mouth, I cried to God. I looked up and I yelled to Him, "Lord, save me." Just those 3 words. Lord, save me. This was my prayer. 3 words. Lord, save me. This was my cry for help, my SOS call, my prayer that I prayed when I prayed for prayer. And during this time, this dark, black phase that I was going through, these 3 words, Lord, save me, carried me through to the other side. The tunnel was long and it was dark, but those 3 words carried me through to the light at the end of the tunnel. Just those 3 words. Lord, save me. But you know, there was another person that made the exact same cry to God as I did that day. And we can find it in the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verse 30. The disciples, as well as Peter, are in the boat on the lake. They all see Jesus walking out on the water. They get freaked out by it. So what Jesus does is he invites Peter out on the water to walk alongside with him. Peter starts walking out on the water. But then all of a sudden, in verse 30, Peter sees the wind, that it was boisterous. He was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. And I cried that prayer every day for months and years. Sometimes I would scream it at the top of my lungs, Lord, save me. Sometimes I just whisper it, mutter it underneath my breath, Lord, save me. Sometimes I would just think it in my mind, just Lord, save me. For those years of darkness, of blackness, anxiety, doubt, spiritual crisis, every day I called out to him. I saw the wind, that it was boisterous, and beginning to sink in that moment, in that car, on that highway, I cried out to the Lord, Lord, save me. And like I said, this wasn't some lavish, elaborate, well thought out, well formulated prayer. This wasn't some formulaic, ritualistic, traditional, routine prayer. No, this was just my cry for help. This was my Abba Father. And even King David in Psalm 69 verse 1 cries out the same SOS call for help to God. In verse 1 he says, Save me, O God, for the waters have come up to my neck and I drown in the deep mire. And you know, you might feel just like King David felt. You might feel just like Peter felt. And you might feel just like I felt. I saw the wind, that it was boisterous, and I was afraid. I felt myself drowning in the deep water as the waters were coming up to my neck. I was sick and tired of being broke. I saw the wind. I was sick and tired of having a broken heart and feeling alone, dejected, and rejected. I saw the wind, that it was boisterous. I was sick and tired of feeling discriminated against because of the way I look, because of the way I act, because of my family history. I saw that my friends were leaving me, having me feel so isolated in life. And I saw that all my fears all at once, all at the same time, were coming true in my own life. And so what I chose to do was exactly what David and exactly what Peter did. I cried out to the Lord, Lord, save me. When you're feeling crushed under life, when you're feeling beaten up by the wind, when you're feeling like the waters have come up to your neck, when you're feeling like the wind is scaring you, and when you're feeling like you are sinking in the water, call out to God, Lord, save me. If you're finding that the words to prayer for you are stuck and just not coming out of your mouth, if you find that you're laying in bed late at night and you're just wanting to talk to God, but the words won't come out, if you're finding that there's this spiritual block between you and God and you don't know how to get over it, then send out your SOS signal and cry aloud to the Lord. And so I'm talking to you right now, to the person behind the camera who is struggling. What are you going through? What's the wind in your life that's so boisterous that's making you afraid? Maybe you're broke and you're struggling financially. Hey, I've been there too. Maybe you've gone through a breakup, but God forbid you've gone through a divorce. Look, I've been there. Maybe you're going through discrimination. People are judging you for the way you look, the way you are, your history, your family background, where you come from, even the color of your skin. I've been there too. Maybe you're missing people in your life. You've had close ones walk out on you. Maybe there's been a death in the family. Hey, I've been there too. Maybe all of your fears are coming to life just like mine were. I've been there too. just call out. Just call out if you're watching, even right now. Just call out. Just say, Lord, save me. And He will save you. He will hear you. Do you want to call out to Him? Do you want to call out right now? Are you struggling in your world? Are you struggling in your life? Are you struggling with the wind around you? Are you afraid? Are you sinking in the water? Has the water come up to your neck and are you drowning in the deep mire? Then call out to Him just like Peter. Say, Lord, save me. Reach out your hand from the bottom of your gut, from your soul. Just reach out from your heart and grab a hold. He will grab a hold of you. Call out to Him right now. Call to Him. Say, Lord, save me. And He will save you. Whoever calls upon the name of the Lord will be saved. So call to Him now. Reach that hand out of the drowning waters and grasp a hold of God's. He will hear you and He will heal you. Till next time, it's Nathan Asher. May God bless you and may God rest you.